Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well. So today is Tuesday. It is August 19th. It is 7:54 a.m. It's 69 degrees, 94% humidity, and the dew point is 69. I looked it up. And the weather thing said that when I opened it up this morning, it said that I was 953 miles away from Hurricane Aaron. I don't know if anybody else says that when they open up their app. I mean, how far away you are from it. But mine said I was 953 miles away, and it's in bright red, like it's just right there. Anyway, it's good to see that we feel that the worst of it's going to stay out at sea, as I hoped that it would. Of course, the Outer Banks, probably parts of Virginia, maybe Maryland will get, some wind and rain, and hopefully everybody has, I know they're evacuating the Outer Banks, so hopefully everybody's abiding by the rule or by the whatever to leave. Don't get stuck out there. Right. Okay, I did some notes, and I know that Calpote loves for me to do notes. So here's my notes, Calpote. I hope you love them. Okay. So yesterday I did film, but I didn't put it public because I said some things in there that I probably shouldn't have or should just keep to myself. It's one of those that I might put up if I had any members. I don't yet, and that's okay. I'm just saying that, if anybody wants to join, that is the type of videos that I'll release that in the membership. Is stuff that I don't want to go public. Of course, I guess it could still go public because somebody could easily copy it. But anyway, that's just the kind of stuff that I would go put into the membership. That is, if you want to join and you have the funds to join. Please don't put yourself out. And I understand because everybody's got a membership now. And I know we can't join them all. So anyway, we're going to talk about Tim just a little bit. And I know Dinger's on vacation, and I didn't see much talk about all this other than, some comments and stuff about Tim's story on his second wife. My thing is that half of that story is probably false. He exaggerated or made up part of it. Anyway, it says some of it may be true, some of it may not. And he says she was the most beautiful girl ever. And, I think that when you're young, men may feel that way when they first are attracted to somebody. But we don't know what he considers beautiful. We know that, everybody has their own opinion of what's beautiful. I'll just leave it at that. He then claimed that, and I'm not going to go into the story. If you want to watch it, that's fine. It's boring, I found. And like I said, I didn't know what to believe of it. He claimed that she had some mental issues and stuff like that, and that she supposedly cheated on him. Now, this is the part that he should have never put in here. And this shows what I feel is a terrible human being by putting this in the video. He says that he doesn't know if the child they had together is his or not. And I am assuming this is Tim Jr., if it's the way I've been told that the timeline is. And of course, I know he supposedly has this, tumultuous relationship with Tim Jr., and he never really mentions him much. I don't think he ever really started mentioning him until, it come out on some of the other channels about him. Now, this is something he should have kept private. And, I have always said you don't tell everything. And even if it's... Anyway, it's just something that he should have never brought that up. Because no real man is going to put that in a video. I mean, that's the way I look at it. We know he didn't support the child like he should have. I don't know if he gave him any support. I'm just saying, I don't know. But allegedly, he did not support the child the way we feel that a child should be supported. And supposedly that, this is all allegedly from people that I've heard say that he had custody of this one for a while. I don't know that. I just know that's what I was told. And then, like I say, they had this falling out. So, I don't know what's going on there, but, he could have told about meeting her, and they had a child, but then he should have dropped it. Just my opinion. He says he won't tell the story of the third wife. Okay, so he'll tell the story of whether he don't know if the son is his or not, but he won't talk about his third wife. Here's my reason on why I think he won't talk about the third wife. But then again, you never know with Tim. He may bring up something, but I think if he does, he will have ran it by his third son, because that's the only one we feel that he has any really true contact with. And this is that child's mother. So maybe it's in his best interest he doesn't talk about her, if he wants to keep a good relationship. Also, it could have been that this was during the time, I'm just speculating here, that he could have cheated on his mother, his third wife, with Tammy. I'm just, like I say, it's just a novel that I'm making up. Don't know if it's true or not. Just speculating, as they say. We'll leave it as a cliffhanger. And I put in here, maybe he could make up a story that his third son won't care. And then I said, I wonder if Tim has any contact with the third wife. Meaning that, if the son was to have a child, would they all, be there? I don't think Tim would even be there. I don't even know that Tim would even go around him if he had a child. But that's just my opinion again. Okay, Tim says he's become a long way. And this is my feelings. I feel like that he tells the story to make him look best. He never puts any of these women, I think he has this dislike, hatred maybe, for women, because they're the ones always doing wrong. He's not ever doing anything wrong that I see that he talks about. Okay, now, here's my thing. I think that, he didn't upload on Saturday. I think he filmed these videos, the story videos, on Saturday. And he may have had to film them several times to get them correct to where he would upload them. But I don't know. Anyway, I still say he's filming ahead of time versus when he used to. I think sometimes when he's in the car or the truck, it's current. But I think those morning things and all that stuff may be filmed in advance. Okay, so he had he went on talking about Carnivore yesterday. Of course, he claimed, one time he wasn't going to talk about it no more, and here he goes again. First of all, I'm going to say this much. If he quit using the name Carnivore, I would drop it too, because he's not on the carnivore diet. He is on Tim's version of the carnivore diet, just like I'm on my version of a low-carb diet. We all have these certain diets, and we mold them to our own. But he is not on a true definition of a carnivore diet when you look it up, because he wouldn't be having sodas. And I'm not saying anything about him having sodas. I have sodas. I don't have them, I don't drink a 6-pack every day, but I probably drink a full one a day. Diet. Y'all know I like my Diet Dr. Pepper. And I'm not going to give it up. And if that's all, if I do everything else carnivore, but have that, maybe I might not go into ketosis, but these people I'm not on keto, but these people, they are obsessed, I feel, with ketosis. Reason being, you're supposedly burning the fat instead of muscle. I have burnt fat before without being in ketosis. And everybody says, you pee on a strip. I don't think that strip is that correct. If you want my honest opinion, I think you're better off doing the blood test to see if you're in ketones. But, because I know lots of times when I was trying to be faithful about it and try to get myself into ketosis, I would do the pee strip and I would never be. But if I did the blood, I would be. So you tell me. Okay. Now, so his friend Jim Bauer left a comment. Now, Tim says he's going back off the cream. And he's going back to black coffee. He calls it cowboy coffee. Whatever. Anyway, this comment is from his friend Jim Bauer. Jim knows he's cheating, in my opinion. And he knows it's more than diet soda and cheese, because he brings that up. I think Jim thinks around the same thing I am, is he's having pasta. Not every day, but at least once a week over at Fred and Raphaela's. That's what I think, and I think Jim thinks the same thing too. Anyway, he says, this is what the comment was. You need to heal your body first, and you drink soda and maybe eat cheese. And I know he wanted to put and pasta. And this is the message he left. Now, as far as I can see, Tim didn't take it down. But he says, stop bitching. You only get out what you put in. Be smart and patient. You are smarter than this. Stop cheating. Time to get serious. Now, the reason that, because he's saying he's supposedly on carnivore. That's why he says he's cheating. My thing is that just quit saying you're on carnivore, because you're not. Just say you're eating low carb, meat-based, whatever. And then, I put in there about the ketosis, that some people claim that you can't, in the comments were saying you can't lose weight, or your weight keep fluctuating if you're not in ketosis. And my thing is that that's not true. But you're not going to get the true benefits that supposedly the carnivore diet brings. If your goal is just to lose weight, then you should still continue to lose weight, unless you're just really cheating a lot. I'll leave that at that. Also, excessive protein can potentially hinder you. There is a fine line, and that's why I say he always eats too much. There's a fine line between the protein and fat. Sometimes I think he eats way too much protein, and but it's not balancing out. That's why I say you almost have to count macros. But I know Tim don't want to count, and I don't want to count either, so I don't blame him for that. Anyway, also he weighs too much. I weighed, like I said, August 5th, I think, or 3rd, whatever that first Sunday was. I've not weighed since, except when I was at the doctor, but I'm talking about my scales at home. I've not weighed since. Do I feel I've lost some weight? Yes, I do. I do. But we'll find out the first Sunday in September. Okay, now, Eric. This was a comment from a guy named Eric. Tim just started carnivore last week and already see and feel a difference. He did. The guy, I don't know who Eric is, but anyway, y'all know what I'm thinking. But I know you think it's the heavy whipping cream, but I would drop the diet sodas first. Good luck on meeting your goal weight. I'm trying to get to your same goals. I guess he's trying to get to 180, 185. I don't know. Anyway, my thing is this. I don't know how many diet sodas he's drinking. If he's drinking 3 and 4 a day, yes, it could be messing with him. But I don't know. Everybody's different, I keep telling you. I know several people that do everything supposedly carnivore, but they do drink soda. And they lost weight. So my thing is that, as Jim Bauer says, he's cheating somewhere else besides. He didn't say it, but I'll say it, because Jim knew if he said it more, he'd get blocked. Or the comment would be deleted. Okay. He does another video of the truck. How many times can he talk about that blessed truck? Just like he talked about all the others. You would think that that was a sponsorship. But we know it's not. I just don't get it. All right. And then the Big Ken Bowski says, a real man's truck for a real man. And Sarasota Tim is a real man. That's right. And I am, who am I? I couldn't think of somebody good enough to say. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And, you know, I watched it for you. I didn't watch it for me, but I watched it for you, just so you know. So y'all have a great Tuesday, and I will talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye.